part 3.
Yes, we're in part 3. Part 3 is division. Part 1 was addition and subtraction. Part 2 is multiplication. Now we're in part 3, division. We're in section 6, dividing real numbers. Okay. The definition of division. Now let's review for a quick second. What's the definition of subtraction? When we subtract, what are we really doing?
Adding the negative.
We're adding the opposite. Good, adding the negative. So when you're subtracting, you're adding the negative. So for division, for every real number a, and remember that it's really important that we continue to remember the non-zero. Okay, so for those who weren't here, you can never divide a number by 0. If you have a 0 in the denominator, that's undefined. There's no answer. Anytime you come up with that, the whole thing is undefined. There's no answer. So you can't have b 0. So that's why it says any non-zero real number. So any number other than 0, then the quotient a divided by b, or a over b. So we don't use this symbol very much anymore in algebra, but you use that probably a lot in grade school and that kind of thing when you were learning about division. So now we use it like this. It's a over b. So that means a divided by b. Okay? And so the idea is that the definition of division is we multiply by the reciprocal. Okay? So if subtraction, we add the opposite. With division, we multiply by the reciprocal.
Wait, I wasn't here for this. What's the reciprocal?
The reciprocal is just the number that you multiply a number by to get 1. Okay? And so you just flip them around. So we know b is b over 1. If you just flip them around, you get the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of b over 1 is 1 over b. The reciprocal of 3/2 would be 2/3. Okay? So to divide a number, you're just going to multiply by the reciprocal. So let's try a couple of these and see how we do. All right. Nathan. 24 divided by 6. So the first thing I want to do is I want to change these to, again, when we were subtracting, we were changing it to an addition problem. When we were dividing, we're going to change it to a multiplication problem. So if we have 24 divided by 6, let's change this to a multiplication problem. How am I going to do that? I'm going to multiply the top and times the reciprocal of the bottom. So, well, you know what the top is, so that's the numerator. What's that? 24. And we're going to multiply by what's the reciprocal of 6? Not negative. This is just 6 over 1, so just flip them. Instead of 6 over 1, you're going to flip them upside down and you're going to get what? 1 over 6. So 24 divided by 6 is the same as 24 times 1 over 6. And I don't know how that negative got in there. Okay? All right. So it's 24 times 1/6. So what is 24 times 1/6? I'm sorry, I can't hear. 4. Good. And you know that 24 divided by 6 is 4. So again, in your head, you look at these, you say, well, I know 24 divided by 6, it's 4. If the answer is 4, so why make it this whole multiplication problem? It's because we're going to introduce variables where you're not going to be able to do them in your head really quick like that. So when you're doing them that way, you're going to need to change it to division to multiplying by the reciprocal. Okay, so Katie, why don't you try this one? 56 divided by 8.
I don't know.
You're going to take the numerator, which is, the numerator is just the top number. Just tell me what it is.
56.
56. And we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator. So what's the reciprocal of 8?
Like
1/8. That's all it is. And so what is 56 times 1/8? Well, this is just over 1. So it's 56 over 8. What is 56 divided by 8? Good.
That almost makes sense.
That's all.
We don't have a dead zone yet.
No, I fixed it yesterday. There was Scotch tape somewhere on the thing.
Who put Scotch tape on this?
No, we had a sign on here not to draw on it over the weekend for the people who come in for Sunday school and stuff. All right. All right, let's see. Tim, 24 divided by -3.
That is -8.
Yeah, but how? We want to turn it into a multiplication problem.
So it's 24, 24 multiplied -1/3.
Good. And you're right. It's -8. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Oh, no, that's just ridiculous. Okay, Noah. Negative 16 divided by 8.
Negative 16 times 1 over 8.
Good. And what is negative 16 divided by 8?
2.
Oh, I was right.
It's what? I'm sorry, what? I didn't hear.
2.
It's 2, negative 2, because when you're multiplying two numbers, one's a negative, one's a positive, it's going to be a negative number. So it's negative 2. All right. Alex, you bored? Negative 27 divided by negative 3.
Felix.
It's 9, right. It's negative 27 times negative 3 over 1. Or, I'm sorry. Negative 1, 3. 9 divided by 27 is 3. 27 divided by 3 is 9. You're multiplying two negative numbers, which is a positive number. It's positive 9. Okay. All right. So some rules for division. They're very similar to the rules you had for multiplication. If two numbers have the same sign, their quotient is positive. So if I divide two numbers and they have the same sign, two positive numbers or two negative numbers, the answer, the quotient is going to be positive. If I'm dividing two numbers and they have opposite signs, one's a negative, one's a positive, then their quotient is going to be negative. Okay? So whether the answer is negative or positive depends on the signs of what you're dividing. So same sign, positive. Different signs, negative. All right. Let's divide some numbers here. All right. Desiree, negative 45 divided by 9.
5.
Try again.
Negative 5.
Why is it negative 5?
Because 45 is negative.
Because you're dividing opposite signs. Okay? Different signs, negative. Okay, Weston, negative 34 divided by 17.
2.
Good. Same sign, the answer is positive. 34 divided by 17 is 2. Shay, 16 divided by negative 1/4. Yes, negative 4. Let's show people how we got that, though, because not everybody can do that in their head. Notice 16 times the reciprocal, so it's just 16 times negative 4, because the reciprocal of 1/4 is 4 over 1. So, and what did you say the answer was?
Negative 4.
It's actually, that's 16 times 4, which is,
64.
it's negative 64. Okay, and keep in mind, so if you had 16 divided by 1, it's 16. 16 divided by 2 would be 8. So as this number gets bigger, your quotient gets smaller. As this number gets smaller, your quotient gets bigger. So if I had 1/8, it would be double 64. It would be 128. All right. Everyone write it down on your agenda, because I got an email yesterday that not all of you are writing it down. So we'll go back through those. Make sure everybody has those written down. What time does this period end? Make sure you hand in your quizzes before you leave and any homework you have, and take tonight's worksheet and bring it in tomorrow. Subtract this on top.
Are these graded?
No. I do them so that you can study for the test. I put all the corrections on there. You guys notice the ones you do, I correct. Make sure you bring these back.
Oh boy.
All right, we'll finish those tomorrow. The examples on the board, and we'll go over the homework and the sheets.
Wait, is that
It is, but the one online is more confusing. That's why I write it like that.